Like, why did you end up going rock, grass, normal? What was the thought process?
Yeah, with rock and grass. Uh, well, let me start this over because I didn't think
Let's
about
start
it
from the beginning.
before I start speaking. I
Alright.
didn't even put thought into answering the question, let
You
alone
just fucking,
starting.
you're just sitting there. I asked you a fucking question. You gave me nothing.
Okay, no. Okay, that was a practice. Well, rock, I thought it's strong, defensive. I can block a lot, and there's a lot you can usually find in the beginning. Also, I thought in the beginning of the game there was a nose pass, but I actually read the map wrong, and I really wanted nose pass. So that was just a major fuck up on my part. And then grass, I accidentally said grass because I was reading it, and I actually wanted to take water, but I'm an idiot, so I said grass. And then
Right, right.
normal because it was down to normal and fire. And I thought, well, I always die, so I should get normal because there's more of them. So
Okay.
at least when people die, I'll still have many more in backup. That
I,
was basically all the thinking.
so, how'd you end up feeling about getting that normal starter? And, side question, why'd you pick Kecleon? Because you had a
I
pretty
was,
big reaction when you got normal.
yeah, I was not excited. That's not what I wanted. I wanted rock as a starter. I
Mhm.
thought that would be better.
Definitely.
Grass, it's like you usually have a grass starter anyway, so I thought that would be boring. So I really wanted to have a rock starter because I wanted to take like, was it Lavatar or something like that as my
Yeah.
starter because the three form. But yeah, I didn't get that. And when I saw normal, I thought, what three forms are there? Fucking, I can't even think of one. And I went with Kecleon in the end because I thought nobody else understands Kecleon, and I'm a loser who loves that little chameleon.
Yeah.
So I know how he works, and I know that he can be pretty good if you use him effectively.
I do have one other question for you.
Uh,
Can you poison steel types?
Obviously.
I'm gonna ask you, what was your type tactic for this? Because you ended up picking Dragon, Ice, and Bug. What was the thought process?
I like Bug, cool to look at. Ice was great, and Dragon, you can't go wrong with Dragon. And if I pick Ice, then that's one of Dragon's like only weaknesses that I would, take out of the race.
Yeah, that's
So
fair. Are you worried about like high level evolutions and shit?
yeah, I mean, I figured at least my plan was that Bug would cover me for that,
Uh huh.
and I knew Ice is pretty sparse. So sparse, scarce, scarce, scarce. Can we restart?
Next question. um,
um,
were you worried about like how rare dragons are and shit?
thought was we're each picking three types, right? So anytime I get a roll at a dragon, I have a 33% chance to get it, which is pretty fucking high.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna I'll take my chances with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you plan on cheating? Yes or no? Yes or no? Just the first thing that comes into your head. Don't even think about it. Do you
No,
plan on
no, I
cheating?
don't. I don't. I play with honor,
You're gonna
and
cheat.
if I have to cheat, then I'll cheat.
Is it fair to say that you have the weakest bowels in the tournament?
I didn't think you'd bring that up. Um, but I think it's fair to say that I have impaired bowels, but they're definitely not the weakest. I hands down not the weakest. And if you think that it'll affect my gameplay, I you're then you don't know a lot about Pokemon.
That's fair. That's. Can you think of any other questions? Because I think those were pretty good.
I mean, you're interviewing me. I wouldn't think of questions to ask myself, right? Because I know the answers.
That's true. What would you want to ask yourself if you could
How'd you get so goddamn handsome?
answer?
Weak bowels. Why are you so? You have so many more
I
than
don't.
everyone else. You have a whole paragraph.
No, mine's as short as everyone else's.
Well, I'm not
It's
doing that.
pretty easy. Just read them, dude.
Uh, Jake, is it? What was your type tactic?
I'm so glad you asked. LJ?
Yeah.
Okay. So I picked
You there?
Ghost first. Yeah. So I picked Ghost first because Ghost has a lot of like good dual typing. Got a lot of options there. You know what
Uh
I
huh.
mean? And kind of rare type. And I feel like usually if they make a ghost, then they try to make it good because it's like always an interesting type, kind of like dragon.
Okay.
They really
Yeah.
make bad dragons. I think it's the same with ghost. So then for my second pick, I picked dark because the only weakness to ghost is ghost and dark. So the idea was that I would have no big weakness, and then I got fucking fire.
So how did you manage to always be on your A game? I mean, seriously, I'm fascinated by the brilliant mind of yours. You are a. I got stuck on the word gargantuan.
I'm still ready
You're
for
a
questions.
gargantuan
This
man
is humbling
standing
so
at
far, by
over
the way.
8 feet tall.
That's
Is
true.
that correct?
Yes.
I can't help but feel if you lose at all in this tournament, not that you ever could, it would only be because of blatant cheating
That's nice
from
of you
the
to
other
say.
contestants.
Nice of you to say.
Do you respect your fellow contestants, even though they are so obviously beneath you?
No. I think that's all.
I think that's all the time we have. Don't tell me that it's all the time we have.
Yeah,
I'm
it's so
interviewing you.
What's your tactic behind picking steel, psychic, fighting?
My tactic was definitely endgame strength.
Okay.
I looked at final evolutions the most, and I wanted a solid team comp. I wasn't so much worried about the early game as much as I was really focused on end game, meaning third or fourth gym or third or fourth trial and beyond.
Okay. What was the thought process behind the first pick, steel? Because we gave you some shit on that one.
So steel was definitely a must-have for me.
Okay.
I found that in the game when playing other players, a huge thing that I would always forget was defense. So if I could pick a type that innately had a strong defense, I was confident in my ability to build a strong attack, knowing that I had the base of defense figured out without really needing to give it much thought.
Well said. Were you worried about the rarity of those three?
Again, where you can only have a team of 6, I really wasn't. I was really focused on a high defense, and I trusted my ability to then build a defense out of whatever my next 2 types would be. Build an offense.
Oh, okay. Pretty good. Would you say you're more of a speaker box or the love below type of person?
I don't know what either of those things mean.
Okay, all right. Let me get into character. You know, what are my motivations? Who am I?
What's your character? You're Bo.
Okay, all right,
You're
all
the
right.
contestant that picked ground, electric, poison? Right. What was your thought process behind choosing those types?
Oh, all right. Poison, obviously first, because it's the superior type. I like in battle when I can do consistent damage, and the best way to get that is with poisoning. Ground is my second because I wanted to try to mix things up with the draft. It's super effective to poison, so I figured taking that type out would leave out one that would wipe out my poison types.
Mm-hmm.
Electric was my last choice because I had seen that there's Pokemon like Magnemite. There's also Pikachu that's really early game.
What led you to win our practice PFP run we did? Because I think you had by far the most wins during that, didn't you?
Pure skill
Okay.
and tactical processing is what led me to many of my, if not all of my victories.
Yeah, Bo, America's sweetheart. So I have another question here. I was a bit confused because throughout the recording I was looking at for the draft, you bring up Anwar Congo a bunch of times, to the
Who?
point where Anwar Congo. You talked about him all the time throughout the recording. We had to tell you to stop a few times.
Who the fuck is Anwar Congo?
I don't know why you're acting like somebody you don't know him. You said he was your role model 3 times.
I don't know who Anwar Congo is.
All right, okay. It's convenient now. Should we just jump through this question? I feel like I'm hitting a wall here. What was your type tactic for the PFP? Why'd you end up picking those types?
Jesus. So, as far as this is, I didn't have a type tactic because I misunderstood the rules prior to going in.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I thought we were restricted to those types only. I wasn't aware that we just needed to pick a primary type, and any Pokemon with that primary type we were able to catch. I was only lucky with the water pull because, like, fucking 60% of Pokemon are water primary. Like, there's everything water.
Yeah.
So as far as fairy, it doesn't really serve me because, I mean, there's hardly any primary fairy. Picking that type, I pretty much screwed myself. Limiting the pool of Pokemon that I could pull from. Flying, I did that just because of the normal that you guys allow with flying normal flying that would turn into another primary type.
Legend.
Are things going according to plan?
Yes, I believe so.